Sitting here at the 2018 NFL Combine with 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan. Kyle, before we begin, man, this off-season beard you've got is strong.
I knew that was coming.
Is that a look that's going to stay or what?
No,
I'm a little jealous.
No, it's like minute to minute. I'm pretty impulsive, so probably the next person who makes fun of me, I'll probably shave it when I get back. But wife told me to keep it, so we'll see if it can last the whole week.
That's the only opinion that matters, really.
That's true, but she'll be sick of it by next week. It'll be too scruffy.
All right, we're into year 2, man. Does it feel like time's flown by a little bit?
It has. It's gone fast, but it's been fun. You know, it's weird now because you get to these things that we were actually at last year at the same time, so it's a little bit of Groundhog Day, but now you can reflect a little bit and know where we were last year at this time. And it's been a fun year. Got a lot done and enjoying the process.
Year 1 is so much about learning the roster. Do you feel like you have an idea of what you've got and what you need, even though there were a lot of injuries last season?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you definitely have a better feel of the guys who were here before we got here and the guys we've added. And those guys change throughout the year. There's sometimes guys were forced in positions at the beginning of the year that they weren't quite ready for. And obviously at that time, you don't feel as good about them. But then you got to be patient as a coach and know, hey, it's not their fault. They're really not totally ready for this situation, and just to go through that and fight through that and watch some guys who were thrown in some tough situations. You know, most people fold in those situations, and we had a lot of guys who I thought fought through and got better because of it, which I think will make them better next year. And I think that takes a special group of guys, and I think we've laid that foundation, but it's just a start, and we're gonna have to start over pretty soon when the players get back and try to rekindle that feeling and add to it.
So much of this week at the Combine is watching the prospects out in the field as they work out, but also you get to see everybody around the league. All head coaches and GMs around the league come here to Indianapolis. And so when you're having these conversations, be honest, how long until Jimmy Garoppolo comes up in each and every one of them?
It comes up pretty fast, definitely with fans. I mean, it always comes up fast there. When you see coaches and people you haven't seen in a while, they always going to say congratulations, whether they mean it or not. So usually Jimmy comes up right away because everyone knows how good he played and they're happy that we found a guy. So, we went into last year not exactly knowing what our quarterback situation was, and we had a goal when we got here, wanted to at least by going into this season have that settled, and it was nice to do that by the end of last year.
Last year, I know we were chatting here, and you said, I haven't even begun to look at what the prospects look like. Now that you've been here, right, you're not kind of, just a month into the job. Have you had a chance to dive into what this year's draft class looks like a little bit, and how are you, splitting up your time between prospects and upcoming free agents?
Yeah, to a degree. I've watched more college guys this year than I did last year at this time, because last year I had watched 0. And this year I skimmed through a number of guys, especially the guys who are scheduled to interview at night. We have like 60 interviews we're scheduled to be at, so I like to watch at least some tape on those guys. Besides that, though, my time's been all free agents. That's what comes first, and try to do one thing at a time. And we're going to have time for the draft, and this is kind of the starting for the draft for myself, where our scouts have been doing their work and everything. I've watched a little tape on them, get to know the guys and stuff, but when we get back, it's still free agency for me, but once that ends, then it's draft all the way to OTA. So that time will come. Right now, we've got to make sure that we don't make any mistakes and do the best thing possible in free agency. Take
me inside the 15-minute interviews you have with the prospects. What role do you take? How much are you speaking? Do you let John and his team handle it?
Yeah, it's kind of different whoever comes in each time. Adam Peters usually starts it off for us because he's done all the work and goes through any injuries or maybe any trouble they've gotten in their career. So he hits all the obvious stuff up, and then we usually turn it over to a position coach. So whatever position's up, that coach starts it, and then John and I just jump in when something interesting comes or something we want to know. And some guys, we might have a few more questions we want to ask, and we'll come out right out the gate with it. But usually it's the position coach running it, and sometimes the coordinator will too, but very rarely does an interview go without John and I talking to the guy also.
Are you the good cop or the bad cop?
We trade off. Probably more. We definitely trade off. I probably play a little more of the bad one.
Okay, fair enough. I wasn't going to tell you where I would have predicted it, but it probably would have been close to that.